Here's how I went from this to this in just 18 months. No gimmicks, just things I did slightly different compared to other lifters. So if you've been training for a few years and you still look the same, your lifts haven't progressed, look, it's probably because you've been doing a few things wrong. Number one, you're probably stuck chasing variety. There is a big problem with people program hopping recently. People see the newest trend, they hop on that program. Especially with the new science-based wave, people see new exercises and they love to incorporate those into their program. However, this much variety is how you kind of stay stuck and not able to progress over time. What I did instead is I committed to the big four movements: squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press. I tried not to include any bullshit exercises. I just stuck to the big four, progressed on those, and I saw the most amount of progress doing that. This is why power building was so popular in the past. It's because it's a thing that actually works. Building strength and muscle go hand in hand. They are definitely not mutually exclusive, although they can be when you talk about strength. But for the most part, as a natural lifter, what you want to do is you want to get as strong as you can on core movements. And what that's going to do is not only provide you a good base of strength in terms of being able to complete the movements efficiently over time, but we're also going to be able to see a big gain in muscle mass. Number two, chasing the pump and increasing your volume. I know I was victim to this in a few workouts in the past, but in general, I always strove to include progression in my workouts and not strive to get a really good pump. I'm sure you heard Arnold talk about, you got to get the pump, it's like coming.
I'm getting the feeling of coming in the gym, I'm getting the feeling of coming at home, I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 9,000 people, I get the same feeling because I'm coming day and night.
But I think most people think that the pump does equal growth, just the general gym populace. You even have pro bodybuilders still talking about, and even some natural fitness influencers still spouting this as gospel, that you really want to achieve a good pump to get the most amount of growth. This is not true. So they generally try to chase soreness and high reps to get that really good pump, a lot of sets in their workouts. But what I did differently is I didn't train for the pump. I trained strictly for progression. So what I did is I trained very heavy. I tried to go as heavy as I could for the rep range that my workout specified. I took very long rest times to make sure that I could hit that weight every single set and I wasn't regressing through my sets in the workout. And I focused on moving the big weight with really good form. So obviously some technical breakdowns going to happen. It is not the end of the world, but we need to make sure that we're keeping a relatively strict form, but also working to lift as heavy as possible. I focus more so on the quality of movement, the quality of the sets that I was doing, rather than just going through the motions, spamming a bunch of really fast chest presses to get a really good pump. But basically quality over quantity, as the saying goes. We don't want to just chop and change workouts, and we don't want to just chase a pump. We want to chase progression. And number three is fretting so much about feeling a muscle during a workout. So many people, even clients I have, friends I have, are really worried about when they do, for example, a pull down movement, they don't feel their back, or when they do a row, they don't feel their upper back. They're mainly feeling it in their arms or whatever. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of lifters rely on feel. They want to feel the muscle working, not only in the session, but the next day. They want to feel sore as if they've really done a really hard workout. But soreness and muscle activation don't necessarily, or the feeling of muscle activation, don't necessarily result in progression, don't necessarily result in outcome. If you think about as I spoke about as an example, a lat pull down, if you aren't feeling your lats in that movement, maybe you're feeling your forearms or the arms, yes, that may detract from some sort of motor unit recruitment in the target muscle. But in general, when we are doing a frontal plane movement, when we are pulling down our arms like this, the muscle that's going to be working the hardest is going to be our lats. There's no real way around this. This is just how the body works in terms of biomechanics. If you pull your arm down, that muscle has to be working. So even if you don't feel that muscle activating, you will still be working that muscle. You will still be gaining some sort of stimulus and you will get some sort of result in the end. Like for me personally, I've never focused on getting that squeeze. I've never focused on activating the muscle as much as possible. All I do is I just lift heavy and I see results. That's just all there is to it. We don't need to focus on squeezing. We don't need to focus on all this bullshit. All right. All we need to do is just get in the gym, lift heavy and progress. So what I did is I just meticulously log every single set, every single rep. I make sure to take note of how much rest I'm having, although I do not track this as much as I do with the sets and reps. And I just made sure that I was adding some sort of stimulus onto every workout. So progressive overload is obviously not the stimulus, it is the outcome that we do get from the stimulus, but people fall into the trap of working out to an easy intensity. So even if they can progressively overload, they think, oh, I did this weight last time, it was pretty hard, so I'll just keep doing this weight over and over. They do this for months and months on end, and they see no results. So what you need to do, and what I did, is to just add load. Don't be scared of going to failure. That's how you know your true max output. And you're just going to get strong that way. And what do we know about getting strong? It's going to drive, well, not necessarily drive, but it goes hand in hand with our muscle growth. So that's essentially how I knew that I was getting stronger and bigger. I was looking at my lifts and they were going up, and I was adding load, or I was adding reps. And guess what? It worked for me, and it should work for everyone based on the literature, based on how the human body works. These things are what drive muscle growth. So yeah, if you are stuck, you've been stuck for 2 years, it's not your genetics, okay? It's how you train, it's how you eat, and it's your philosophy around fitness. If you're consistently chasing the pump, you want a good photo after your workouts, I'm sorry to say it's not helping you. To put it simply, stop being stupid. You're chasing novelty, you're chasing the pump, you're chasing how you feel. You're not getting stronger, you're not adding weight, you're not adding reps. So start training smart, and you'll build real progress, okay? If you want more no BS hypertrophy content on how to actually get big in the gym, subscribe. I'm essentially going to be breaking it all down, whether that's through a gym vlog or a sit down talk like this with a little bit more editing on top of it. If you ever want me to go through any sort of exact programs or anything, drop that down in the comments. Love going through some programs. I love talking about why PPL and all that stuff's maybe not the best split. Things like bro splits, why they don't work as well as something like an upper lower or a full body program. So make sure to not only subscribe, but turn on notifications if you do want to see the next video. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.